This dress was worn by Dena for the wedding of her and Bill in 1956. Her daughter-in-law, Patty, reached out asking if she could donate it, saying family members thought it was too poor of condition and not worth saving. But Patty felt differently. Patty said that Dena held on to her wedding dress all these years as a reminder of the love and hope she felt on the day she married Bill. I believe Dena would be happy for another young woman to wear her dress and cherish it as well. Dena and Bill were happily married for 66 years before Bill's passing, and what a beautiful couple. I love that photo. Included in the package was Dena's original headpiece and veil, which it's always fun to see those in person because sometimes the photos you just don't get to see what they look like. And then here is the dress. So it has a lace bodice and then your kind of classic 50s tulle and lace skirt with net. And it has quite a bit of oxidation and, of course, the yellowing. And as found, there's already breakage kind of starting at the elbows, and the lace is really crispy. Surprisingly, the underarms are in pretty good condition on both sides there, and there's another break in the lace there. So when I go into a project like this, especially when the lace is already starting to become damaged, I kind of have to prep myself that things may not go well. So in this instance, I was thinking, I kind of had it in my head that I might have to replace or remove the sleeves going into it. But before I began, there's a pretty good size seam allowance in the inside of the dress. And since it is covered in lace and not satin where needle marks would show, I decided to open it up to make it a little bit larger. I do that when I can because so many gowns are so small. So I did the kind of alteration first, and now I'm going to wash it. Doing retro wash, a little bit of Dawn and some washing soda in warm water. And in she goes into my tub, inside a tub. You can really see how yellow that is. And I let that soak for a total of about an hour. And then after 1 hour, you can see that yellow water, which of course we like to see. But what I didn't like to see was on the bodice itself. And this is just one area. The lace was just breaking. But I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to go into the sodium perborate, which will take care of yellowing even further. So I took 1 cup of that, dissolved that in boiling water, put it in 120 Fahrenheit water, inside the tub again, using a fabric sling underneath it. That kind of helps to lift it in and out of the water, and then kind of helps to keep it submerged. And I did a 20-hour soak. And then looking at the lace again, it's not looking good. You can see the dress brightened up, but the lace on the bodice, and this is, again, just one area, and it ended up being throughout the whole thing. More yellow water, yay. More rinsing. And the water's getting better. Now to wash off the sodium perborate, do a round of retro wash. This kind of helps do a washing motion. And more rinsing. Another round of rinsing. And this is also why I do it inside a tub, because I can use less water that way. Let it drip for a while in that bag, and now that it's dry, I'm just heartbroken. And it's not so much about the tears in the lace, but it gets to a point where you can't even repair it because the repairs aren't going to stay. So I wasn't expecting to do this, but I made the decision to remove the lace from the bodice, and it was just tearing off. So what I do is kind of tear away from all the seams as much as I can. Sometimes I had to get tweezers to get some of those threads out. But as I was doing that, from the upper part of the bodice, I was releasing the stitches, and I discovered underneath what looks to be from the bodice I've seen this style so many times in prom dresses from the 1950s, and there was a little bit of rice in there, and somebody had forgotten a pin in there, which of course had rusted. So I did a quick little bit of some Wink rust remover on there, and that helped it greatly. And then you just have to rinse it off really well with cold water. And then on to removing all the rest of that lace, and oh my goodness, it just fell apart. So even though I had made it bigger, I had to sew the side seams again smaller because now all those needle marks showed on the satin. So I was not anticipating that. I had some vintage satin for my stash that I washed and was able to use for kind of the underarm facing. And then I made these straps because there's no boning or anything in the bodice. So in order for it to kind of have some support, I ended up doing the straps and then did some very satisfying pressing. Now there were some needle marks in the very center front of the bodice from when whomever kind of attached that lace to that under bodice. So my remedy for that was to just put some buttons on top of it. So I made some marks with a vanishing marker and then sewed the buttons on. And then the little straps ended up kind of having these tails. I wasn't originally going to do this, but I just kind of kept playing around with it. And I really like how that turned out. It kind of made it like a little tie in the back. So here are the befores and afters. My goodness, was this a change? Like I said, I kind of had to prep myself going into this that, I might have to change the sleeves. But boy, I did not expect it to have to go this completely different direction. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. It is definitely a different bodice on the dress, but I do think that was the original prom dress underneath, and it is now clean and wearable once again 70 years later.